Hey, welcome back. Today we're going to be making one of these, which is a fixed structural ridgeline for a hammock. I made this one this morning as a practice run, and I didn't have a fid, so I made this. Drilled a hole in the end, and it didn't work out very well, so I ended up going with a paper clip and bending it. So that's what we're going to do. What we need is our cordage, which I want to take a moment here to talk about this, because the original stuff I got said it was supposed to be good to 750 pounds, and when I got it, the MBS was 750, but the actual working load was only 150. So when you're buying this stuff, be careful, because while this is the breaking strength at 2,200 pounds, this is the working load, which is a huge difference. This is generally when it'll break, but this is what you want to look at for something that's consistency, like making a ridgeline for a hammock where you're going to be sleeping in it all night. So this is what you want. So if you're looking for something that's around, say, 500 pounds, you don't want it to be this number at 500. You want your actual working load to be for 500. So this is 440, which would be plenty enough. So there's that. And we're going to need a piece of duct tape, some electrical tape, your multi-tool or something similar, a good sharp knife, something with a razor blade to cut this to make clean cuts. My little makeshift fid out of a paper clip, a tape measure, a pair of scissors, and because I don't want to cut on my counter or my floor, I've got this piece of scrap wood. Alright, so let's measure a piece out, tape it off, and get ready to cut it. Alright, so what I did here was I taped one end down with a little piece of duct tape, and I measured out. The hammocks I have are 10 feet, so you want 100 inches, and I'm going up here to 108 at actually 9 feet to make my cut. So that gives me room to make my eye splices. So, and what I did, I put a little piece of electrical tape around the cordage, as that'll help make a clean cut. And then we'll just take our razor knife. If I can open this with one hand, and I can't. Yes, I can. And we're going to go here to where it says 9 feet. And we're just going to make a cut. Sorry. So there we have our length. And now we'll move on to the next step. Alright, so got everything cut to size and everything. We're in here, sitting at my desk, having a little bit of issues with my back, so I'm trying to sit to do this. Generally, for a structural ridgeline, you're going to want 83% of the length of your hammock. I'm using 10-foot hammock, so average is around 110 inches. Generally, when I measured it out, it's just a little bit shorter than that. But 100 inches is a decent point. It actually came out to like 97.8 something, so basically 98 inches. So you got 2 extra inches, which I don't feel is going to be too much of an issue. So I'm just doing the 100. So there's that. Doing a lot of this stuff, and I'm not even sure I'm going to be able to use the hammock. All right, so I can't really mark anything because I'm using basically a really dark gray cordage. And this stuff is, it's hollow, so it makes working with it a little bit easier. Let's get that over the desk there. All right, so we want to make our loop. And the general rule is, I think it's 50% or something, but I didn't do that. I'm not a super technical person. You want to make your loop. For me, I'm going to go maybe a couple inches like that. And we're going to kind of fluff it up a little bit. We'll take our makeshift loopy fib. We'll go through. Kind of make sure it's in the center. We're going to take this, put it through there, and then we're going to real carefully, really not used to this kind of camera angle, real carefully just kind of start working this through. Here we go. So now what you're going to do, take that off. And in this section, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to fluff it up a little bit. Push our thing through. Make sure you're kind of in the center. And then you want to take your other end. I really didn't want to do that. This is why people swear in videos. All right. And we're gonna put this through. It's kind of difficult when you're teaching as you learn. All right. So now we got that. Now we're gonna tighten this down. And there is that part. All right. All right, so we're back and we got our structural loop, and you can now what we're going to do is bury it just to make it look a little nicer. And you could leave this that way if you want. My little eye loop thing is not long enough to be able to do that, so I am going to cut it a little bit shorter. When I did the other one, things worked out a little different. So, all right, let's get this out of the way for now. All right, so now what we're going to do is you take your loop, go a little ways past it, at least about an inch. And we're going to fluff it up a little. And then we'll slide our loop in there and try to get it so that we are inside the cord. And we're going to scrunch it as we go. Until you get right up next to the thing. Being careful not to let your thing slide down. So then we're going to take this and loop it through there up until the end. And then we're going to very carefully, this is where you're going to probably also want to swear. Because this takes some finesse and some jimmy rigging to get it to start to go under there. What I did the last one was I kind of used my multi-tool to hold it. Trying to keep it in view and see what I'm doing and so forth. There you go. And when you get it to there, you can kind of work this out, take your thing off, straighten it, and then just smooth it down like that. And there you go. There's one end. Do the same thing. Gonna make our loop. Couple inches. Bring it through. Pop our thing off. And there we go. Now, this is going to be a little bit trickier because you've already got a loop on the other one, so you're not working with just a thin piece. But it's still not going to be too bad. So we're going to do our thing here. Go through center. Going to go a little farther. I got a knot. Hold on here. We'll be back in a... All right. Sorry about that. So now we're going to... Yeah, I still got kinks here. Kicking the camera and everything else. Technical difficulties. So now with this one, what we want to do is you want to put this through all the way through until you get down to the skinnier part. Then pinch your thing, bring it through, careful. You're gonna carefully bring that through, take off your loop. Pull it through. Bring this down so you've got the right size. What did I do wrong here? Nothing. Okay, there we go. Thought I did something wrong there. I was like, no. Tie it out. So again, we've got this little loop here. And we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to take my piece of wood. I'm going to set it up here. And I'm going to cut a little bit off. Get rid of our piece of wood again. Then we're just going to do the same thing. You're going to just go a little bit past it. Till you get up by the end. Pop your thing through. Pop your thing off. Smooth it down. And there you go. You've just created a structural ridgeline with spliced in eye loops that looks all pretty. And that's a wrap.